Blah. I totally meant to have like a Twinkie in my mouth, and I totally meant to play that earlier, but it just didn't happen. So, tough shit. That's what I get for using OBS and not StreamYard. Sorry, guys. Welcome back to Friday Phil. I don't know if it's quite a return. I don't know if it's going to be a weekly thing. It's just something that's just kind of on the back burner for the moment. For obvious reasons, if you read my YouTube post a couple months ago. This Twinkie is fucking amazing. No joke. I just got home like 20 minutes ago and I'm eating for the first time today. Went to the gym. Did some ab workouts, cardio, all that shit. Then I went and skated. Landed a heel flip. Landed a couple heel flips. So that was cool. So good! So good! So good! Bum, 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 bum. Yeah! I feel good! Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Guys, this Twinkie's making me feel all sorts of ways. So good. So good. So good. Anyway, if you guys listen to Megadeth, I do. I love me some Megadeth. I really love Megadeth, actually. Well, not as much as Metallica. But there's the kicker. Megadeth put out their final album, and there's a bonus track on there that is a Metallica song. And it is, in fact, Ride the Lightning. And that is one of my favorite songs by Metallica. And I always wondered, what does a Megadeth cover of Metallica sound like, right? Like, what does that sound like? And, well, the question was answered a couple weeks ago, a week or two ago? Last week. Something like that. Some shit like that. But, let's see. I liked it instrumentally. I do think that Dave Mustaine is on the older side. I've even been saying since I've listened to the song, I like listening to it. I do. I jam to it in my car. I jam to it at the gym. I really like it. And, you know, I said that when it comes to Megadeth and when it comes to this song specifically, Ride the Lightning, when it comes to them doing a cover of this song, I think it would have been much better had Dave Mustaine did this like 20 years ago when him and Metallica were finally starting to mend fences around the time of Saint Anger. I actually firmly believe had Dave Mustaine been, 20-ish years younger, he would have sounded much better doing the song. Because you can hear his aged vocal. You can hear his age in this. And it's fine. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's fine. It's doable. I will say that, like, instrumentally, it's great. Ride the Lightning by Megadeth instrumentally sounds fucking phenomenal. It's really, really good. And it's no surprise because Dave Mustaine originally did write Ride the Lightning. So it is his song for all intents and purposes, as much as it is a Metallica song. So it's only a matter of time before Megadeth actually did that. I always thought. If you even listen to some of their other songs, they are kind of like reworked, sped up versions of Metallica riffs that Dave Mustaine did write in the early days. Like, if you listen to the song Mechanics, that is Four Horsemen. That is a sped up version of Four Horsemen. Obviously the lyrics are different, but instrumentally, listen to it. There's another song that Megadeth did that it pulls from Phantom Lord, I think. I don't remember what song it is though. But yeah, Megadeth doing Ride the Lightning, I was like, yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna rip it apart like a lot of other people are online. I already rip enough shit online as it is. But no, when it came to that, I was like, oh, this is nice. I like it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I had fun listening to that. It was fun. It was a good time. It was a great time. Fun was had. all fun was had. All manner of fun was had. Listening to that over the last week. It has easily made my gym workout playlist. It has also made my skate playlist. So, yeah. That's been fun. Been a lot of fun. Been listening to that. So, what else has been going on? I mean, these live streams that I do usually entail some variation of movie and entertainment talk, right? I mean, I just got done talking about Metallica for the last, or sorry, Megadeth. Well, Megadeth and Metallica for the last, fucking couple minutes. But what has been happening, my friends? It's been a while since I've done one of these solo shows. There's been some advancements. There's been some trailers. There's been some rumors. There's been I almost said concept art, but that's not true. There's been television Academy Awards happening in March. The Oscars. People got nominated for the Oscars. I would also like to take this time to acknowledge all of the awful things going on in the United States and just give my respects to both Alex Preddy and Renee Good, who unfortunately lost their lives at the disastrous hands of this awful administration that's currently running the United States and, ICE. It's just awful. It's horrendous. And I would just like to say to my friends and family, whoever's listening, be vigilant, be safe, be aware, and do not engage in the chaos. That is what they want, because that's what Donald Trump wants. And frankly, I think myself and a lot of other people are pretty tired of what Donald Trump wants. But again, just putting out my good thoughts and well wishes to both the families of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, because what happened to them was absolutely just unquestionable and awful, without a doubt. And I fear for a lot of friends of mine who are not Caucasian and who have to look over their shoulder walking down the street, coming home from work, whatever, and even other friends who work with people of color. Like, I wake up every day knowing that my friends, certain friends of mine, are going to have to look over their shoulder constantly, and that's a very unsettling feeling. It's unfortunate, and I hate it. I hate that this is what this country has come to. I can't stand it. And I can't stand that both sides of the fence... It's pretty obvious what one side's doing. But looking at the other side, I'm just like, you are doing almost the absolute bare minimum to stop any of this, and that's just absolutely atrocious. Then again, how much control do they have? That we know this show isn't political, but I'm just saying, be safe, be vigilant, be aware, be educated above all. That's what matters. But in order to stop paying attention to that, we do have a lot of other things that we can pay attention to in the meantime. And yes, it is kind of shitty to say that out loud, but unfortunately, I can only look at the things going on in the Middle East for so long. I can look at what's going on in Israel, Gaza for so long. I can only look at the clownery from the administration for so long. I need to talk about the shit that makes me happy. And that's what I'm going to do, and that's what we're all here going to do today, okay? So let's start talking about the shit that makes us happy. Where do we want to start? Because there's a lot of shit. A lot of fun shit. A lot of cool shit. I don't even know where to start, honestly. I guess we can just start recently. I mean, this past week, last Sunday there was it last Sunday? I'm pretty sure it was last Sunday. Yes. So on Sunday, Universal unveiled the very first look at Yoshi in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. They gave, I think it was a 2-minute trailer, something like that. And, we got Yoshi, we got Fire Mario, we got Fire Luigi. I'm happy. It looks good. I can't wait. Was it Saturday? No, well, it was Saturday for you, Taladia, because you're in Europe. Everything's a day ahead of you. You're in time travel mode. So come on, man. Get with the program. For me, it was Sunday. like 6 a.m. my time on Sunday. We got a good look at Yoshi. And he looks and sounds like Yoshi. There's also a brief moment in that trailer where you see Baby Mario and Baby Luigi on the back of Yoshi, and I'm like, oh, we're doing this? Okay. I'm down with that. I'm all the way down with that. I love me some Yoshi's Island. That was some fun shit. Hosi, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're just talking about the Mario movie and how epic it looks, because that movie does look epic. It looks like fun. It looks like a perfect follow-up to the Super Mario Brothers movie. I have been thinking about this, and a lot of other people also think that. I saw a rumor online that possibly it would be, maybe or maybe not, I don't know. It'd be really cool if Nintendo did a Mario Galaxy 3. If they did a Mario Galaxy 3 to align with the release of this movie, if that's what they've been secretly working on for Nintendo Switch 2, I'd be all for it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it would be really cool. I've only ever played Mario Galaxy years ago on the GameCube. And a good friend of mine, Flightcast, Buddy Ray, he's a huge Mario fan. I know he's got like a Mario Switch, and I know he also he's played Galaxy, and I think he's probably played the second one. I don't know. I'll have to reach out to him. I would love to pick his brain on some Mario stuff. He knows a lot more about Mario than I do, but I have played my fair share of the Mario Brothers franchise, and I am very much looking forward to this second movie. Yoshi is one of my favorite characters. He's honestly, when it comes to Mario's world, my pantheon of characters goes, unsurprisingly, Toad, Yoshi, Luigi, Mario, Princess Peach. Everyone else after that just kind of fluctuates. It doesn't really matter. Those are my top characters. In that order. Because, yes, I know, right? F me for putting Mario in... God, what did I put him in? Third place? Fourth place? Something like that. F me, right? But hey, my favorite Mario thing is a tough tie between Mario Kart Double Dash on GameCube and also Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 8 is just unbeatably great, and Super Smash Brothers, and also Mario Party. Mario Party specifically because I love Toad. I love playing as Toad in Mario Party. I also love playing as Toad in Mario Kart. Toad is my favorite character. I just like playing as Toad. If I can play as Toad, I will. If anyone takes Toad before me, you will have hell to pay. Just saying. But yes, Toad is my top character. I love Toad. I actually don't mind that he's played by Keegan-Michael Key. I think he does a pretty good job as Toad. I don't know. I don't remember who they said who's voicing Yoshi. Have they even said who's voicing Yoshi? I don't think they have. I don't think they've said who's voicing Yoshi. But I don't care because it sounds like Yoshi, and that's totally fine. So, winning. Wow, that movie is coming up very soon. I think it's April 4th? Something like that. Let me just check right here real quickity quack quack. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Okay, Super Mario Galaxy movie. Galaxy. I can't spell today. Movie. There we go. Release date is April. Okay, so it's releasing on April 1st. April Fool's Day. All right, cool. Wicked sauce. Fire mushroom. Fire plant. Boom. I should play Mario live. Because I do have Nintendo Switch Online. I could if I wanted to. If I really wanted to, I could play some Mario Party or some Mario Kart. We'll save that for another time. Anyway. Yoshi. My man Yoshi is in this movie, and I could not be happier. Hosi says, I'm wondering if you can talk about the upcoming God of War live-action show by Ronald D. Moore. Are you a fan of the series and the casting? Yada, yada, yada. Later on when you want. No, that's actually a really great pivot. I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually scrolling through TikTok because I have a TikTok now, and I'm ashamed of the fact that I have a TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw a clip from Sons of Anarchy, and it was the clip of Opie getting revenge for when his first wife died. And I was like, right, he's playing Kratos in Amazon's God of War series. And I would also just like to say that Mandy Patinkin got cast as Odin And if I'm remembering correctly, Richard Schiff did the voice for the game, and he kind of looks like Odin, so I'm really not surprised. But I will also say Patinkin getting that role, that's great casting. That dude was in Criminal Minds. What was his name? Oh my god. Man, oh man. I forget his character. Mandy Patinkin. He was in Criminal Minds. His character was Jason Gideon. That dude. As soon as I saw that he was cast as Odin for this, I was like, oh, that's beautiful talent you have there. That is amazing. So whatever they have for him for this adaptation, to get the beautiful Mandy Patinkin to play fucking Odin in God of War. Oh my god. Yes. Just hold here, hold on. Hey, here.
This is fucking awesome.
Yeah. That casting, fucking awesome. Just saying. Yeah, I'm all for God of War. And Ryan Hurst as Kratos. You would have to be a fool to think that was bad casting. And I also saw that they cast Thor as well. So I'm like, okay, they cast Thor for this first series. Is it going to be a limited series? Are they going to do multiple seasons? Because if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't fight Thor until the second game. So I'm like, how long is this series going to be? But hey, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to watch it. Amazon has proven great with video game adaptations. Look at Fallout, which I haven't personally watched. I need to watch season 2. My dad keeps hounding me to watch season 2. I probably should just go over to his house one day, sit down on the couch for like 8 hours and binge season 2. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited for God of War. I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really interesting to see who they cast as his kid, Atreus. Is it Atreus? Something like that, right? That's the kid's name? Some such shit like that. Let's see. God of War. His child's name is Come on. There we go. Excuse me. Atreus. Atreus. Yes, I had it right the first time. Atreus. At least I think I said that. I might not have said that. I don't know. Atreus. Who would you cast as Atreus? Shit, I don't know. Cast an unknown. Cast an unknown. Cast an unknown kid. Cast an unknown. Cast an unknown ginger kid. Because he's got to have the freckles. That's all that matters to me. I'm just kidding. It really doesn't matter. Cast whoever you want for the role. Cast whoever is great for the role. Cast whoever owned it. Alistair Duncan is also reprising his role as Mimor from the game, which is a nice touch. See, there you go. It sounds like they're kind of blending both worlds, which is a smart idea. Taking some people from the games, taking some actors from the games, and throwing in some top talent from television and movies into it. Here for it. Absolutely here for it. 1000%. Okay, so I'm a little ashamed to admit this. When I got my PlayStation 4 Pro, I was given both. It was a bundle. I was given both God of War, the PS4 version, and Horizon. What was the first one? Not Forbidden West. That's the second one. Horizon something whatever. Yeah, I got both of those games. Never played them. Okay, never played Horizon. Played God of War for like an hour, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and then never went back to it. I know. Shame on me. 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 Definitely. That was my bad. One what? Hey, man, just got home. Completely forgot about your show for today. Hey, you know what? I didn't at all announce it on social media. All good. Glad you're here, though. Zero Dawn. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it is. Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn. That's what it's called. Yeah. Never played it. Heard great things about it. Never played it. Shame on me. Live action Gears of War as well, maybe one day. Hey, I like Gears of War. Gears of War's fun. I wish it would get turned into something. I wish it would get more. Like an animated show or a show in general, a movie, something like, man, that'd be epic. That would be certainly interesting. I know Zack Snyder has definitely expressed interest in doing Gears of War to some extent. I also saw that on Threads, smallscreen.co tried to peddle this rumor that apparently Zack Snyder himself pitched to Netflix a Dark Knight Returns adaptation, and I'm like, no, he didn't. Well, no, why? How I know that? Because he's working on The Last Photograph. You want to know how I also know that rumor was bullshit? Because they said he was doing it with Ben Affleck, and I'm like, yeah, no, that ain't happening, Chief. Oh, I think we're getting an official trailer for Avengers Doomsday during the Super Bowl next weekend. Didn't even consider that. See, I'm over here wondering, like, where's the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer? And I'm thinking that is probably going to be at Super Bowl Sunday next weekend. That's my guess. But I wouldn't be surprised if Avengers did that. If Marvel did that. If Marvel Studios did that indeed. I don't know, man. I feel like these 4 teasers that they put out, which is a great segue to talk about them, because I haven't talked about them in a live setting. Oh, man. Avengers Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday. I actually saw in a Discord, apparently there was some thing at Pinewood Studios showing off possible merchandise for the movie, and it gave a possible look at Doom, and I was like, I can't really gauge an opinion on a look of Doctor Doom if it's on, say, the cover of a comic book that makes them all look like stuffed things. Beanie Babies. Sorry. So, yeah. I would say that the possibility of an Avengers Doomsday trailer that is not one of the 4 they released during the showing of Avatar, I'm going to go 60-40 yes, 60 no. Maybe even 35-65. I'm not entirely sure about that. But I'm guessing that there's hopefully going to be a Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer in front of the Super Bowl. That's my personal hope. I hope to see something like that. I hope to see Spider-Man Brand New Day, like the official trailer, in front of the Super Bowl. That's really what I'm hoping for, and I hope it does turn out to be the case. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am just patiently waiting for that trailer because that movie comes out in July. It is the last MCU movie before Avengers Doomsday, and I am very curious to see what, if any, lead up of any kind, if any at all, Spider-Man Brand New Day has possibly going into Avengers Doomsday. And I would actually also venture to guess that, if anything, Destin Daniel Cretton is probably, maybe, I would not doubt he's doing Shang-Chi too, but if this Spider-Man movie hits as hard as I'm guessing it probably will, there's a very solid chance that Destin Daniel Cretton very well may just stick with Spider-Man, and we might not get a Shang-Chi 2 until after Avengers Secret Wars, which would suck, because I love Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. That movie was dope. Have I watched Wonder Man yet? Yes, I have. And I will say, it is a banger TV show. But going back to Hosey real quick, Cyclops in his comic book getup looking amazing. Let's talk about those trailers, because I was a big fan. I reacted to all 4 of them. I'm sure maybe you guys saw. I think some of you definitely did, because I saw a couple of you guys in the comments section of a couple of the videos. I really liked the Steve Rogers trailer. The Thor one is leagues and bounds some of the best acting Chris Hemsworth has ever given in the MCU, which is crazy to say because it's only like 30 seconds of footage with his voiceover, but I gotta admit, like, having him pray to his deceased father for one last fight so he can return home to his adoptive daughter. He got me, man. I got in the feels for that one. That was great. But the X-Men trailer, holy shit. Seeing Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart sitting across from one another, oh my god, playing chess again, and Patrick Stewart saying, it's not about when you die, it's about who will you be when you close your eyes. Man, that is haunting. And then to see Cyclops in his X-Men 90s Jim Lee beautiful glory. Oh my god. Just wow. They did it. They actually pulled it off, and it looks incredible. Fantastic. Like, dude, the X-Men in this movie, I have waited years to see these actors in these suits, and I'm finally getting it. And I welcome the newcomers. I welcome whoever they cast coming forward in the reboot, the inevitable reboot. I welcome them. But you have to admit, it's so great seeing James Marsden, Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen back for what. And I've been saying this since Deadpool Wolverine. Deadpool Wolverine was the thank you. Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars is the farewell goodbye for the Fox X-Men. Because look at those credits. And if you think they play like a goodbye, I hear you. I have always maintained that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, with the credits of Deadpool and Wolverine, plays way more like a thank you than it does a goodbye. But that's just my 2 cents personally. That's just me. Because why else would the X-Men be brought in Avengers Doomsday? Nostalgic cash grab? You could argue so. Sure. You could argue a nostalgic cash grab because of the fact they're bringing back Steve Rogers and Robert Downey Jr. I don't care. I think it's great. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that with the final Avengers movie being Secret Wars, you cannot sit here and tell me that it would be beneficial to not have Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans for these 2 movies. Because the fact of the matter is, you kind of need them. Sorry. Not sorry. I also think it's kind of poetic that if you know what happens with Doom, and you know Secret Wars, and you know the mechanics behind that, it is very interesting that the man who inevitably started the MCU with Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., is now the one to collectively hit the reset button with it. And to be fair, he could have done that at the end of Endgame. He could have did exactly what Thanos did. He could have completely wiped reality into his own making and have done away with Thanos. And what he did. But what I'm getting at is he could have pulled a Doctor Doom with the Infinity Stones and went complete rehaul universe if he wanted to. But he didn't. Because that's where Tony Stark's journey ends. Where does this version of Doctor Doom's story begin? Well, it may or may not be tied to Tony Stark, and I'm fine with that. Because here's why I'm fine with that. Because in current Marvel Comics canon, there is a character called the Maker. And this character called the Maker is a version of Reed Richards, who is a supervillain. But he's not just any, like, ordinary supervillain. He's, like, the supervillain. He's the big, big bad. He is a multiversal threat, unbound. He is the prior Ultimate Universe's Fantastic Four's Reed Richards. And he has gone straight mad with power. So much so that he went out of his way to turn another Reed Richards into his own Doctor Doom. And I don't doubt one bit that there will be some level of, yes, this is Victor Von Doom. there's also some level of Tony Stark there, because why else does Victor Von Doom look like Tony Stark? Right? Right. Pretty obvious. It's going to be... I'm very curious to see the way they write it and present it and execute it. That's what I'm very curious to see myself, personally. What are you guys saying in the chat? Wonder Man was fantastic. Def not for everyone, but I loved. Director of photography cooked. I thought this show was incredible. Okay, the ending, the last episode really gave me a nice chuckle. It was interesting the way they decided to end this series. Let's see. Thor Praying was amazing. Amen to that. The X-Men trailer, I think, is the one that actually got Marvel fans really intrigued for this movie. I don't disagree. What I want now is a good look at Doctor Doom. I need to see me some Doctor Doom. I didn't buy that Doctor Doom shirt for nothing. Oh, Sir Ian with the hair. Yeah, I know, right? Now let's just call him Magnus, right? Let's just make it abundantly clear, like, yeah, it's the same actors, but it's technically a different universe. Call him Magnus. If they call him Magnus, I'm gonna lose my shit. If they call Ian McKellen Magnus in this movie, I will lose my shit. Just saying. Anyway. I'm looking forward to seeing which Avengers characters are going to meet the Fox X-Men in Doomsday. Me too. Me too. I mean, I'm very curious to see how and who interacts with who, because that was the fun of Avengers Infinity War, was watching all these different people over these different projects finally come together and interact with one another. Wow, what a concept. Where have I seen that before? Oh, right. Phase 3, when you had Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Iron Man all fighting Thanos. Now, it's like, oh, cool. Now we finally get the payoff of seeing Shuri, Namor, getting to talk to brand new Ben Grimm and the Fantastic Four. Holy shit. Anyone know that's a nod to the comics when the Fantastic Four introduced Black Panther? You do now. No, I learned that a couple weeks ago. That was a pretty interesting find. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how all the new players interact with one another after spending 2 phases of not interacting with one another to some varying degree. We got a little bit of that with Thunderbolts, and Thunderbolts was admittedly a pretty amazing movie. But I still think Fantastic Four was the better movie of last year, personally. Anyway. Oh, bro, Mumbwa, you just brought up the fucking, pardon my French, you just brought up the one thing that I'm so happy you brought up, and that would be my boy, Henry Cavill. Those Highlander picks. Those look so good. Those look so good. I can't wait for that movie. I can't wait for that movie for a number of reasons. Because number one, Henry Cavill is playing the Highlander. There can only be one. Number two, Chad Stahelski is directing that movie. The man who made John Wick a reality is directing Highlander. He is directing a Highlander remake. Wallet. Take it. Just take it. All my money. Have it. All of it. Please and thank you. Yes. All my money. Henry Cavill is the Highlander and Chad Stahelski making the movie. Say no more. Say no more. I am there. I am so there. I am there day one. I am there day one. Day one, folks. Day one. I'm also there day one to kind of talk about Marvel again for because it's in the thumbnail and I kind of want to keep it cyclical. Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We got a trailer for that earlier this week. That was interesting. I am very excited for Daredevil Born Again because there's one shot in that trailer, and I used in the thumbnail, where they seem to be homaging Mr. Robot, in that you have someone in a fake Kingpin mask, and you have them holding a sign, and it says, Mayor Kingpin, and the way the footage is done, the way it's done in the trailer, I'm like, oh, this is straight up like Mr. Robot. I love it. Someone's going to be mimicking the Kingpin. I have no idea what they're doing for the story. I don't care in the sense of, like, I don't want to know. Hopefully it will not get spoiled. But I am very much looking forward to Daredevil Born Again. And I would also just like to say, thanks, Disney. You blocked my reaction to it, even though you had absolutely no problem letting my reactions to all 4 Avengers trailers go up. But the minute I tried to react to the Daredevil trailer, I got hit with a copyright strike. Thanks. Appreciate it. Even though I love your content, I have no problem promoting it for you. For free. Just let me upload it and watch it to my channel, please. But no! I was genuinely excited for that trailer, and I genuinely had a lovely reaction, and unfortunately, I can't share it with you guys. But overall, it was great. Seeing Jessica Jones back was great, too. Seeing Matthew Lillard in that. Awesome. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. March 24th. Can't come fast enough. And honestly, okay, so now that I'm thinking about it, I don't like that they dropped that trailer the very day that Wonder Man debuted. That bothers me. That is very, very bothersome because it takes away from Wonder Man, and there's no mystery about this. Marvel hasn't exactly, and Disney to a larger extent, they have done, well, okay, Marvel has done their due diligence to promote Wonder Man every step of the way. If you go on their Instagram, if you go on their YouTube page, they have been promoting it. Disney has not. Disney has not gone out of their way to promote Wonder Man in the way that they've promoted other Disney Plus Marvel series, and it's a shame because this is equivocally Marvel's version of the studio, and it's just as good as the studio. And it's also a funny insight into how Marvel makes their own movies and how they make fun of it. It's funny. It's so funny. Like, if Wonder Man is, if anything, Wonder Man is hilarious and in all the right ways because it gives you an eye into what it's like to being a struggling actor or an actor in general. It is a mirror into entertainment. It's also a very, very, very telling story of manipulation and how people are so easily swayed when it comes to dire circumstances and life-altering situations. The thing Trevor Slattery had to do, like, the character development of Trevor Slattery through this series is crazy to me because I walked out of Iron Man 3 going, that was a waste of time and a waste of Ben Kingsley. Ever since Shang-Chi, Ben Kingsley has just been eating with this role of Trevor Slattery, and I have to say, he's become one of my favorite original characters in the MCU because of the sheer absurdity and hilarity that character brings. Don't get me wrong, Iron Man 3 is still a horrendous made movie, awful film, not even worth a damn when it comes to comparing the other two movies. It's just not a good Iron Man movie. But him as the Mandarin, Trevor Slattery, whatever, the way that Marvel bounced back from the backlash of this character has been nothing short of, wow, that is incredible. You don't see that very often. So, credit where credit is due. Hopefully they can do the same thing with Thor, and I think they will. Because I'm sick and tired of Clown Thor. I don't want Clown Thor in the MCU. And I think a lot of other people in Marvel have heard that cry, because why else would Chris Hemsworth be as serious as he is in Doomsday? Well, because Taika Waititi probably miffed the wrong person, and that Thor Love and Thunder movie is not great. When even your lead actor is saying, yeah, we went a little too goofball there, it's kind of a problem. I'm glad the problem is being rectified, because I also saw Mr. Taika Waititi also say something to the effect, like he was quoted from Variety saying like, oh, what I did saved the character. No, you didn't. You set the character on a path that basically mirrored Batman after Batman Forever. Good job. The only difference is you were slightly more successful monetarily speaking, but culturally, impactfully, fans look back on that movie not fondly. People in the real world look back at that movie not fondly. You have your handful of general audiences who are like, Oh yeah, it was fun. People online despise Thor: Love and Thunder. It's pretty insane. I'm one of them. It is I, Taika Waititi's biggest hater. No, seriously, like it's just I'm glad that Thor's going in a different direction. I'm glad Spider-Man's going in a different direction. It just seems like when it comes to these characters, when they pivot, it's either a really great reaction or it's a, oh no, you shouldn't have done that reaction. And then they have to work almost ass backwards to get things back to normal. But I don't know. I liked Wonder Man a lot. It was cool. I don't know if I will revisit it. I don't know if it has that kind of rewatchability because because it's contained and it's very well contained, but I don't know where I would rank it yet. And I'm very I might have to watch it again just for that purpose, just to see where I do rank it, because that's usually what I do with the Disney Plus shows. I will usually watch them twice, 3 times at most, and then rank them. And if I really enjoy the show, I will go back and watch it. And that has only applied to Loki so far. And WandaVision. Admittedly, I did also watch Falcon and Winter Soldier last year before Captain America Brave New World. But even still, that was that circumstance. All right. Anyway. Speaking of fictional characters, let's talk about another popular fictional character that is, you could argue that the film coming out may have some slight Thor vibes, and this didn't occur to me until I heard my buddy Flightcast talk about it, and it's like, oh, okay. I kind of understand where you're coming from, but it's not quite the same thing. And that would be, of course, Masters of the Universe. Now, that trailer, if you guys saw my reaction to that, which I certainly hope so, because that is the best reaction on my channel to date, thankfully. Also, hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. That trailer was incredible. Because holy shit, Masters of the Universe looks so good. I mean, am I like, how do I feel about the Earth thing? I don't care. I really don't. Because when it comes to certain movies like this, there's almost always going to be some kind of earthly element to it. I'm fine. It's whatever. And based on the footage, it doesn't seem like they're spending a whole lot of time on Earth, and that's probably the most appropriate time. And so, after seeing this trailer for Masters of the Universe, I was floored, man. I was really surprised by how great this movie looks and how faithful it looks to the Masters of the Universe toy line, and how just it captures the essence of the toys, but also you can tell that the 80s show had a pretty large influence on this as well. There are some hints and shades of some other He-Man related things in there too. There's absolutely a nod to the Adam laughing back meme. That shit was great. That was cool. When he finds the sword in the pawn shop or whatever, when he tries to lift up, I'm like, all right, that's a pretty funny joke. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I chuckled when the chuckles were worthy. It was very much a fun. I had a fun time with that trailer, and I think I'm gonna have a really fun time with that movie. I had a lot of He-Man toys as a kid growing up, so you know, I had a Cringer, I had Man at Arms, I had He-Man. I think I had Tila too. I had a few characters. I think I for sure maybe had a Skeletor. I don't remember, but yeah, I grew up playing with He-Man toys. I know I for sure watched the 2002 show that Jay Oliva worked on. That is some of my favorite He-Man stuff right there, because that shit was leaps and bounds some of the best storytelling I've ever seen, because hot shit, that show was great. Yeah, Skeletor, he's played by Jared Leto. Moving on. No, seriously, moving on, because there was nothing in that trailer to talk about other than, yeah, he looks like Skeletor. It's that. He looks like Skeletor. Moving on. Let's wait till we hear what he sounds like before we make any more judgment. But I've just seen all manner of people just like, oh man, why does Jared Leto ruin everything? I'm like, you guys didn't even hear him talk in this role. What? What are we doing here? Come on. Anyway, this movie's going to be in theaters for like all of 3 weeks, and then it's going to hit Amazon Prime. But if it does hit really well at the box office, I could see Amazon giving it an extension. But we'll see. It is MGM though, so it's tough to say. It's really tough to say with the Amazon MGM thing, because like now that MGM is owned by Amazon, it's really tough to say like whether or not whatever film they produce and put into theaters is quote unquote profitable, because now the new norm isn't just box office. You have to take into account that inevitably something is going to streaming, and it very well could pop there. So there is that to take into account. Speaking of ghoulish, ghastly, white, and pale characters, anyone see Jason Momoa talk about his Lobo? That Lobo reveal from one Jimmy Guns and everyone else at DC was the last week, I think? Yeah. Look. Does it look like Lobo? Yes. Is it Jason Momoa? Yes. Does it look good? Yes. Am I surprised? No. Why? Because it's exactly what we thought it was going to look like. It's Jason Momoa looking like Lobo. Are the eyes red? Yeah. Could they be redder? Sure. Do they need to be? Probably not. But he looks good. The motorcycle looks slick. It sounds like him and Kara have had history. So that's cool. I'm very excited for the Supergirl movie. I will be there. I will watch it. But as far as like Jason Momoa's Lobo, I'm like, yeah, it looks like all the internet fan art you've seen of him. It looks like that. And it's Jason Momoa's Lobo. There you go. 2 thumbs up. You finally got 2 thumbs up out of me, James. Congratulations. But unfortunately, we are going to end this segment, this episode, frankly, because this last little bit of shit I want to talk about, because I think I hit everything else in the thumbnail. Pretty sure I did. But I want to talk about this. And that, of course, is the rumor of who is writing Batman Brave and the Bold. And I say rumor because this is not officially confirmed. I don't care how credible the Hollywood Reporter is. They have gotten specifically something DC James Gunn related wrong in the past. Remember when they were making Superman and the Hollywood Reporter reported that Palm Clementieff was in the movie? And then she ended up not being in the movie? Okay, yes, she has a voice role in the movie, but she does not have a physical present character in the film that she portrays. Right? So that means she's technically not in the movie. Even though for all intents and purposes she ended up being in the movie. But in the sense of her acting physically, no, she was not in that film. That ended up being a bogus story that the Hollywood Reporter ran. And the Hollywood Reporter is arguably the most credible trade of them all. The fact of the matter is, this rumor, you all know where I'm going with this, so let's just go ahead and play it.
Maybe the problem is the fuck puppet delivering.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You all know where this rumor originated from. You know where this story came from. Here's why it stinks. Because with the Wonder Woman film and with Supergirl, when it came to the writer, because it's the same writer on both movies, when it came to the writer of that movie, when the trades, and I mean the trades, Deadline, Variety, the Hollywood Reporter, when they all ran that Anna Nogueira was writing Supergirl and Wonder Woman James Gunn very quickly confirmed it. So why didn't he do that with Brave and the Bold when it came to the Hollywood Reporter saying that she is writing the movie, according to their sources? According to their sources, she has been kind of doing it or what. Like, I don't even, matter of fact, you know what? Here, let's put this to rest right now. What did the Hollywood Reporter actually say when it came to Christina Hodson writing Brave and the Bold? Because when I saw this news and I immediately saw the source, I was like, there's no way this is true. Because I don't trust that source. Nobody should trust that source. Nobody should trust the rat named Jeff Snyder. I repeat, no one should trust that rat, because that's what he is. He's a rat. Nothing more, nothing less. He is a rat of a human being. Not only that, he is a rat of a human being in the entertainment industry, and that's how he remains relevant. By giving people nibbles and scraps of shit he may or may not have heard to possibly be true. If not fake bullshit, just so you can check out his nonsense. Y'all remember Jurassic League? Yeah, that ended up falling flat on its face and not being true, right? Remember the guy he said absolutely had the role for Green Lantern, and then it went to Aaron Pierre? Yeah. We're talking about a guy who has a batting average of less than 10, okay? I'll admit, I think he's got somebody over at Disney or Lucasfilm that gives him something. Someone over there is throwing him a bone. That much I can say with certainty. But as it pertains to anything DC, no. This dude is batting less than 10. He's full of shit. But where the hell is this story about? Where is it? Oh, this is too... Wow. This is old. This is old news. What are we doing here? Come on, man. I really gotta Google this shit. Son of a biscuit. Here we go. All right, I found it. Okay, so this is from Boris Kit, and he typically is very on point. He's got his sources well placed. I usually don't ever question it. But let's talk into this. This was over a week ago. Batman movie The Brave and the Bold taps Christina Hodson to write for DC Studios. That's what the headline says. Andy Muschietti remains involved as director as the studio takes a measured approach in its development. Christina Hodson, known for her work in the big IP and action spaces, is working on a Batman movie for DC Studios. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. No, you haven't. Hodson is writing The Brave and the Bold, the feature project that is centered on Batman and Robin. Robin in this version is Damian Wayne, the murderous tween raised by assassins who also happens to be the son of Batman never knew he had. It's a very reductive way of putting it, but moving on. It is unclear how far along Brave and the Bold in the writing process is. DC Studios had no comment on Hodson's involvement. I wonder why. One source said the scribe had been working on the project since at least the fall. I don't buy that. Another source said that it would be some time before a definitive draft comes in as the studio is taking a measured approach to its development. Interesting. DC has faced conflicting currents in the development of its Batman movie. James Gunn and Peter Safran, who head DC, announced a Brave and the Bold project from the outset of their launching superhero movie division in 2023. Muschietti, who directed The Flash for Warner Brothers in the previous DC film division, was on board to develop and direct the project. But finding a writer and a take on the material proved, for the longest time, elusive. Really? You don't say. Because for the last year, James Gunn has said he's been working very closely with the writer of Brave and the Bold. So, if she's been writing this since at least last fall, at the very least, she's been writing a possible draft. Or, at the very least, if she's been working on it since the last fall, she's taken over from whoever was writing it from the year previous. Who knows? Bottom line is here, though, This doesn't line up. This does not line up with what James Gunn has said specifically regarding the writer of the Batman Brave and the Bold film. Because last year, on more than one occasion, he made it very clear that he was working very closely with that writer. So, something ain't adding up here. As far as Christina Hodson possibly writing this movie. Why else would James Gunn not comment on it? Could the ink be drying on a contract deal for Christina Hodson? Very well could be the case. I don't know. Or, maybe, just maybe, she's not writing the fucking movie. There's an idea. Just my guess. I'm happy to be wrong. I've been wrong in the past before, and I've happily admitted it. But this, something about this doesn't pass the smell test. Something about this doesn't smell right, okay? But finding a writer and take on the material proved for the longest time elusive. Muschietti remains on board, but his ultimate involvement depends on several factors, including timing and availability. Listen, if Andy Muschietti has remained on board to direct this movie for this long after doing season 1 of Welcome to Derry, and Welcome to Derry is as well received as it is, guess what? The ball is now in Andy Muschietti's court. He can do whatever he wants. But as far as this film is concerned, I've been under total conspiracy theory here, okay? Tinfoil hat. I've been under the impression that he got this film as a consolation prize for the studio being like, yeah, we're sorry about The Flash. Do you want Batman? That's my guess. That's just a guess. I don't know, okay? And I can admit that I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to bullshit you like John Rocha or Jeff Snyder so you give me money. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm just going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you how I feel. Okay? Sources are not be damned. The article then goes on to reiterate things regarding Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, and we all know that that is absolutely not going to be the Batman in the DCU. Couldn't be any more clear about that. Then there's this part. Hodson has gained respect from peers and execs for her strong scripts. She has worked in the Gotham City corner before, having penned a script for a Batman Beyond feature that earned praise inside the studio but was never made. She has several other DC credentials, having worked with Muschietti on The Flash, penned Birds of Prey. Other credits include Transformers movie Bumblebee. The In Snyder newsletter was first to report Hodson's involvement. Okay, so, listen. Number one, the source on this is a rat who goes out of his way to, at the very most, lie to you, and at the very worst, spoil things for you, okay? When I say you should not pay attention to Jeff Snyder, it's because he willingly preys on your fandom so you will help him pay his bills because he is too much of an insignificant, uncreative human being to actually do something worthwhile for the entertainment industry. So he therein grifts off of movie fans to help him peddle his bullshit. Okay? And look, I welcome a conversation with the guy. I would happily tell him to his face, what you do is disgusting. What he does for the industry is gross. And he can give me all manner of whatever. I don't care. I've seen the guy react online. I've seen the way he talks to people. He is disgusting and he should not be paid attention to. But when it comes to this movie specifically, when it comes to Batman Brave and the Bold, earlier this week, James Gunn defended Christina Hodson as being a really great writer, and anyone criticizing her scripts or maligning her scripts have never read her scripts. And I'm like, that's great, dude. Here's my problem. You went out of your way to confirm that Ana Nogueira was writing both Supergirl and Wonder Woman well before those movies even dared enter production. Why are you being so cagey about who is writing Batman Brave and the Bold? And here, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. You obviously have an idea of how to do your job. And I know you probably have an ego large enough to not listen to me, and that's totally fine. Not that I'm even asking you to. But here's what I will say. If Christina Hodson is writing that movie, and that asswipe just leaked that information, sorry, dude. If it ends up being true, you're going to look like a damn fool with egg on your face. You need to commit and admit it, confirm it, or deny it, and say she's not writing the movie. Because as far as I've been following, and I've been following the production of not only this, but the Batman Part 2 for the last 2-3 years since James Gunn has been the head of DC, from where I can, and from what I understand, there's been a writer attached to this film for a lot longer than last fall. So, whatever's going on with Batman Brave and the Bold, it's got to be some variation of he's probably got 1 or 2 or 3 people delivering him different drafts of the same story. I don't know. The same general, maybe not the same story, but the same general idea. You know, a Batman and Robin film with Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Damian Wayne as Robin. And they have to incorporate the Bat family somehow. I guarantee you there's probably a couple people writing different versions of that movie. Maybe. I don't know. And that's the thing. We really don't know. It's not our business to know. I can only speculate. And I'm fine with speculating. I'm totally fine with speculating. But who's to say that maybe one draft ended up in one person's hands and then ended up in another person's hands? Script writing is such a... It's like a ball of strings when it comes to script writing. Especially on projects like these. Because they can enter one hand, then another hand, then another hand very, very easily and very, very fast. And we all know the old adage, too many cooks in the kitchen, as they say. Which is exactly why I'm looking forward to the Batman Part 2, because that's being written by Mattson Tomlin and Matt Reeves, who wrote the first movie. Continuity. As my friend William the Sci-Fi Center loves to say, continuity is king. And that, my friends, is where I think I will put a pin in it. But to just finalize my thoughts on the whole Christina Hodson, Brave and the Bold thing, listen. I liked Birds of Prey. Flawed movie for sure in some certain character respects. The Flash is like 51 bad, 49 good for me. A lot of that writing is not great. A lot of Christina Hodson's writing in that movie reminds me a lot of the worst shit Joss Whedon could have written in the Avengers movies. And it's just ham. And it's bad. It's just not great writing at all, dialogue-wise. It's just not good. And also just the general flow of that film, too, was just very off. Utilizing so many different elements from so many different comics. Again, just feels like somebody throwing ideas that they read in passing into a script blender and being like, here you go. So I preferably would not want Christina Hodson writing the Batman movie. I would prefer somebody else. But I don't get to make that call. That's on James Gunn and Peter Safran. She could deliver to them one of the best scripts on the planet, and Andy Muschietti could go shoot it. I'm still going to watch the movie. We'll see what happens, guys. We will see what happens. But ultimately, do I think she's writing the movie? I think there's a possibility that she's writing a draft of this movie. Do I think she is the definitive writer of this movie? No, I don't. I don't give a shit what Jeff Snyder says. I don't give a shit what the Hollywood Reporter has said. James Gunn has not confirmed her for writing that movie, and that should be enough of an alarm for anyone paying attention to any of this shit. Just saying. That's where I'm going to leave it. That's where I'm at. Let's, just want to thank everyone for coming in the chat, coming back, hanging out with me while I, shoot the shit, talk the shit. Hosey, Harrison James, Mumbwat, Hosey, Donovan Martin, Taladia, thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate y'all coming in to chat with me as I shoot my shit, as always. Hopefully we'll get back to the normal programming. It might be a different later time. We'll see what happens in the weeks to come. But other than that, everybody, I hope you all stay safe. But most importantly, of course, if you don't want to do that, but that was a funny one. No, most importantly, if you could, do that. do that. Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I love you all. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. Take care. Much love. Giggity gaga goo goo. Goodbye.